Good morning, Kitchen Witches. Today is Thursday, July 23rd, and this is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor-in-chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. We're going to pick one card, and that's going to give us everything we need to know about the day, in addition to planning our menu for the day, right? Have fun. So let's give it a shuffle and see what we've got. One more. All right. What is the card of the day for Thursday, the 23rd? It's the Page of Wands. So, Page of Wands. Pages are part of the court cards in the Minor Arcana. There are 4 families that rule the 4 elements in the Minor Arcana. So wands are of our fire, our passion, our creativity is all wands energy. Why? Because the element of fire rules them. So fire rules them and they rule the element. Pages are the youngest of the family members. So think of it, when they are born, they know that they have the responsibility of ruling over this particular element. So before they learn the ins and outs and how to utilize them like the king or queen would, or even the knights, although the knights are still grappling in a way, they make mistakes, right? Where the king and queen know it inside and out and very rarely, if never, make mistakes. But the page, little page, think of children where you tell them something and they only see that something, right? They don't see how that something can be something else sometimes and something else another time, right? So they always go back to what they first learned. And with this card and any of the pages, they basically bring you right back to what fire is, right? Not how it can do this and how it can do that, but what it is. So, Tarot for the Wild Soul, Lindsay says that pages point you true north. So they bring, the odometer goes up and it goes down. But when you have a page, it brings you right back to either, where it should be, center. Yeah? So pages will always bring you back to what fire energy is in a childlike, very black and white way. So what is it? Well, it is creativity at its best. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. You open your eyes, you think, oh, wow, today I'm going to go horseback riding. Oh, wow, that's gonna get me out of bed. Or, oh, wow, today is the day that we're having that gathering at the yacht club, whatever, right? I don't know, something that turns you on. And really, you think about it and you're like, ooh, it's great. That's fire, right? And that's what the page does every morning. They jolt out of bed with the inspiration that they are going to do something that lights them up, sets them on fire. So it's a beautiful card. And so when you get this in any kind of spread, you have to go back to what your passions are. When you were a child, what did you love to do? Because we lose all of that as we get older, right? We have institutions that teach us things. We've got this that teaches us things. We have to decipher what's right for us, what's wrong for us. There's a lot that goes on from that time that we were children digging in the sand at the beach, right? Making the sand castles. When was the last time you did that? But they bring you back. So if you get this card in a reading, it's all about How do you bring yourself back to the things that light you up, that get your creativity flowing? These are challenging, right? The court cards are always challenging because that's one way to interpret it. But another way to interpret it is maybe this is a person in your life, or it could be you. And how is that person lighting fires for themselves that may be inspiration for you? So that's another way to look at it. But for today, we're going to keep it simple. And we're just going to say, okay, the Page of Wands came up as our card of the day. So that means we have to think about what lights us up. What makes us really inspired to, I don't know, get the crayons out and start drawing, or sit at the piano and start playing. Beauty, right? Bring beauty and creativity. Make jewelry, make, I don't know, work on the garden, right? Anything that makes you just, this is wonderful, right? And makes you feel really happy and turns on all your senses and lights a fire under you that, I don't know, sitting at the computer doesn't do. So think about that today, right? Because if you find that you really, really love something like that, you have to incorporate more of that in your schedule. No matter how hard it is, you've got to, because it lights you up, right? Turns you on. So bring more of that into your world and you'll be much happier. You'll get back to true north, right? Your compass will go back to true north. So the Page of Wands actually loves food. They like what I'm calling fiery foods for your inner child. So for breakfast, I'm thinking, why don't we do chorizo pancake roll-ups? So get yourself a beautiful piece of chorizo, either the Mexican chorizo, which is already cooked and semi-dried, they're more cooked. And they come in littler links, I think. And then the Spanish chorizo, which is usually comes raw, right? And you have to cook it. But what you want to do is, either way, you're going to put you're going to make pancakes. And we all know how to do that. And then you're going to take your pancake and you're going to put a piece of cooked chorizo in it. You're going to roll it up, and then you're going to put maple syrup on it, and that's breakfast, right? So it's got a little fiery heat from the chorizo sausage, pancakes for our inner child, maple syrup for our inner child. And it's a complete breakfast. There you go. Easy. Next, for lunch, I'm thinking spicy tuna sushi rolls. Again, a roll, right? We're on a roll. We're getting out of bed in the morning. We're on a great high, right? Let's not deflate it. Let's do something fun that we can get our hands into and make sushi. So you need your nori, which is the seaweed plank that the sushi goes onto. You're going to make your rice, which is, the sushi rice. That is flavored, right? So it's not just rice made in a pot. Once the rice comes out and is finished, you gotta add a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sugar, sake if you have it, and you're making like a sweet and sour that coats the rice so it has flavor. It's important. You lay it onto your sushi roll or your sushi nori, and then you add tuna that you've chopped up. So this is raw tuna. It's sushi grade tuna, which means that it has to be frozen for 48 hours prior to consuming. And that kills pathogens, so you can eat it raw and not worry. So if you buy a sushi grade tuna in your supermarket, know that in order for it to be called sushi grade, it has been frozen. And same thing with sushi restaurants, it must. So get your tuna, chop it up real fine, add it to mayonnaise with sriracha sauce. And you can add as much or as little as you like, right? And you mix that together, and that's going to go on top of the rice. and then you're going to roll the sushi, right? Using your thumbs, you go under the nori, and you pick it up and you roll it over on itself. And then you roll it over again. You leave a little bit of the nori exposed at the top, and you add a little water, and the last roll will seal the sushi roll closed. They have these bamboo mats that help you roll your sushi, so invest in one of those if you don't already have one. And you are serving that with a dipping sauce, so it could be as simple as just soy sauce. Great. If you want to, you can purchase some pickled ginger, which is my fave, and make up a little wasabi, or squeeze it from a little jar if you have it. And it is darn delicious. And that is lunch for a page of wands. I love it. Right. So for dinner, I'm thinking katsu chicken with sweet chili broccoli. So katsu, right? It's nothing more than a chicken cutlet, guys. It really is. So you're going to do your dredging station. You're going to pound your cutlets thin. Chicken breast, great. If you want to do a thigh, fine. Just pound it out, right? Get it thin. You're going to dip it in your egg. You're going to dip it in flour, sea salt, right? Make sure it's seasoned. You're going to dip it in egg, and you're going to dip it in panko. And then you're going to pan fry it. I like avocado oil to pan fry, but almost exactly the same way you would do an Italian chicken cutlet. Put that off to the side, and then you're going to make your katsu sauce, which is like a ketchup, right? So I haven't done this in a really long time, but I know it's soy sauce. It might even be ketchup, and a few other ingredients. And I think there's tamarind in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Look it up online. A katsu sauce, Katsu. And you serve it together, right? And you could put a little lettuce on top of that, or a salad or whatnot. But we are going to do a sweet chili broccoli. So easy peasy. Get your broccoli, cut it into your florets. On the stovetop, you're going to get some water. You're going to steam the broccoli in whatever vessel you have that has a tight fitting lid. So you get that steamed, and then let all the water dissipate. And if it doesn't, then you can drain off your broccoli and put it back into the pan, and sweet chili sauce from the bottle, right? You can buy it at ShopRite. You can buy it at a grocery store. It's Thai sweet chili sauce. And you're just gonna put a little bit over that and stir fry it a little bit, and onto the plate with your katsu chicken and a little cup of the katsu sauce. Yum. Inner child would be so happy, right? A chicken cutlet, yeah. Done a little different, right? Fire under our tuchus for that one, right? And the heat is coming from a little bit of the sweet chili, right? Because it tinge of heat. If you want it hotter, you can add a good handful of whatever your chili powder of choice is, or chili flakes, or sriracha, right? Go for it. But for those that can't tolerate heat, you can make it a little spicy, or just have this meal because it's different, spice up your life. There you go. It all works. But when it comes down to it, this page would like you to nourish yourself and nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. See you tomorrow.